dry draw. Quite sweet. Tarback E-Special Drew Estate, Nicaragua. The wine for a Merlot is quite soft on the palate, which I think a bit more of a bolder Merlot would probably pair well or a bit better with the sweetness of this. But as you can see there, it's going to turn into more of a Connecticut wrapper. So it'll be interesting to see how that pairs with the red wine. Both are really, really good on their own. This one's for you, Roger. Roger Dodger. Thank you for all your love and support. Been smashing my videos and I really, really appreciate it. Starting to get a little bit more of the Connecticut flavour, more woody notes. More woody and citrus notes that are starting to come through, and that sweetness is starting to mellow out a little bit. This wine is Allegiance Wine Kindred Merlot 2024. Kindred. a natural relationship by birth or descent, an affinity. Killer whales or orca are highly social with some family groups, passing on hunting techniques and vocal behaviours across generations. A kindred wine hope to share the orcan instinct for gifting the next generation with the fruits of their learnings. One moment. As it doesn't have any tasting notes on it. Bright red purple, crushed leaf, vanilla and plum. Aromas, fresh and vibrant with a juicy mix of cherry, raspberry and mulberry in an easy drinking, exactly what I just said. Modern and youthful style with soft tannins. Like I said, it's quite soft, which is not the Merlot I would normally go for, but I am enjoying it. And a fruit-forward finish, drink young and fresh. It pairs well with earthy depth of braised mushrooms or a creamy garlic mash. Single bottle price, $22. I'm just gonna get something just in case I need an ash. This is definitely a very unique cigar that I've never really tried before. That sweetness is still slightly there. That's the whole fun about pairings, is that if I had my time again, I'd probably pair this with either a white wine or even maybe a sweeter Shiraz. I know this is sweet, but it might amplify those sort of tartier, fruitier notes that you get in a Shiraz. And I'd probably pair this wine with more of a darker leaf. It's a little bit more dark chocolate notes and that sort of vibe of a cigar. Just so you don't burn really quickly, and I know I'm smoking a little bit quicker than what I'm just about to say, so don't do as I do as I say, is 45 seconds. That'll just keep the tobacco at a good temperature where you're not, like, if you puff it too quickly, you're sort of creating more heat through the cigar, and you'll get more sort of astringent flavor, not flavors, but you'll get an astringent experience. I did butcher the light up. Just an uneven burn. So I could have cut it a little bit further up the cap. So just by rolling it in your hands, just sort of removes that extremely tight draw. Not losing that ash yet. It starts to lean a little bit. Well, there's a bit of a crack in the ash. I'll ash it out. But I'll see how far I can get down on the sucker. So if I was to leave this, like let's just say I'd had enough, I wanted to leave it, just sit on an ashtray, let it go out, it'll go out probably in like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And then obviously wait until it cools down and you can just cut it sort of, so right now, like if I was gonna wait, cut it about there, exposing not burnt tobacco leaf, and you go again. Or what you can do is roll it, let the ash come off, let it sit, and if you didn't want to cut it, you could get like a little scraping tool that you can use to like pick the inside of a tobacco pipe, or even your keys or whatever. That might not be, etiquette, but it's what I do. And just sort of scrape the ash away. And then, if you're going to do that technique, when you relight it, what you want to do is you want to, instead of breathing in, well, not breathing in because you don't breathe in cigars, but instead of puffing, blow through the cigar, and it'll get the impurities out and like that ashy taste out of the tobacco leaf, and then you can go again. So let's just say I wanted to have the rest of this with a coffee, because actually that's actually a great idea, Smith. I'm not going to do it, but this would pair well with a coffee, or like even a chai latte, just because that little sweetness factor there. So it must be a sweetened tip. I need to get a little humidity pack and put it in my little packs, because as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but like the cigars I've got in my pack haven't been humidified properly for like the last couple of weeks, and they're starting to like almost form some cracks on the leaf. So hopefully when I get down that part, it doesn't just start splitting apart as it burns. Without a proper mic, this isn't necessarily like a proper ASMR video, I do realise that, but it's more just to sit down, relax, let the evening pass away. But I should get one. if you can see that, but like right there's like a split, or almost a split in the tobacco. That was the band that came off the head. Look how cool that looks. I already took a picture for the thumbnail, but I might go again. It might. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a bit of flakiness going on. Let us pray. It would almost pair well, really nice, with like a dessert wine, which my housemate Tom got me a bottle of that. Which had a bit of like a lemon meringue vibe. And obviously there's nuance with all of this. So like, you know, someone that likes lemon meringue pie or likes sort of a biscuity sweetness, which is what I think that's flavoured with, like a sweetness. They're just notes, which is sort of just experience. So yeah, like the notes that I've said to this, someone that doesn't smoke cigars is not going to pick it up and go, oh, that tastes like my favourite chocolate, or that tastes like my favourite lolly. Like, yeah, it's margins. So I have smoked enough of it, and obviously this was the same as the tip. Nothing's really changing from, you know, the second third of the smoke. So with all the cigars I've smoked with Country over the years, I'm going to rate this an 8, and I'm also going to rate the wine an 8, but I'm going to rate the drinkability of the wine a 10. It'd be so good to be able to smoke that ash all the way down. I've never done it before. I reckon where I might lose it is that bit right there. As soon as that goes down there, we might have dramas. already had dramas. Not the end of the world. I just was hoping that I'd get it down to the end. My mate Country's done it once in my presence. It was a Nick cigar. Just label says Nick on it. Great cigar. And he got it down to here. And he put it like that on the ash. And then put the band back on it. Pulled out his phone to take the photo. And the ash broke away. And that was the end of it. So he was like this close. So how I was talking about the purging of the cigar. I think where I'll end the video will be about there. If I had time in the morning, which I don't, I'd probably finish it just before it turns to the darker leaf, and I'd have it with coffee, but I've got to get up early in the morning and go to work, so unfortunately that's just how life is. So for all you people playing at home, and I'm sure Roger's going to watch his account name, Roger Dodger, these rings. First ring that Amanda bought me at the Glebe Market in Sydney. It's made out of a spoon. My spoon is too big. This ring has been resized. It's my dad's ring. It's a tiger's eye. Obviously my dad passed away, so I cherish that. And this one is a jewelry store in Upwey, where I grew up, my hometown. And that's an onyx. And I just was drawn to it. So the jewelry store was, it changed into a jewelry store after my tattooist passed away, and this store obviously got bought by someone else, and yeah, I was just drawn to that ring. Just realised as well, it's my mum's dad's anniversary today, and I normally have licorice, but I don't have licorice, and I've already had a top up of wine, so I'm not going to go out, but I miss your pa, Doug. Every morning when you were there, growing up as kids, you'd wake up in the morning and be like, Guten Morgen, even though he wasn't German, or he could have been, who knows. And like when he would yawn, or like yawn, he'd be like, hoody, hoody, ho, ho, ho. He was a hard-working man, Doug. Panel beated my oldest brother's car back to life. Maybe I'll get some licorice for you tomorrow, mate. Rest in peace. Probably have half the bottle. I don't want to wake up feeling seedy. Anyway, that's the bottle cap. %13.5% and 8 standard drinks. And it's vegan friendly. Yeah, but I'm not vegan. I don't know if you can see that. I've got a moist mouth, so it looks like a butt suck stuff, but it's just, I have a lot of saliva in my mouth. I don't know if you can see that line there. That's probably where I should have cut it, just to get a more open draw. A tight draw is not necessarily a big problem, but if it's too tight, it is hard to smoke. Absolutely love my Stetson cap I got from Melbourne. Not last time I was in Melbourne, but the time before. This is on an angle it's going to go again, so nearly where I want to get to before I shut off the video. Whilst I'm giving Roger Dodger a bit of love, I'll just thank all my followers, past, present and future, for all the support. I know I'm still a small content creator, but I'll make it one day. You mark my words, I'll make it one day. And I won't be the typical guy that makes it either. Like, I have got future thinkings of what I'd do if I went viral, and part of that would be making the world a better place in my own way. I grew up in a very poor family, and not to say that my parents didn't work hard, but we were a family that wasn't well off. And so, yeah, I'm not enticed by money from the same reasons that someone else might be, which isn't a bad thing, you know. If someone goes viral and they make a shit ton of money from YouTube and they buy a lot of materialistic things, good luck to them. That's not a bad thing. But that won't be me. Or if it is, it'll be very minimal. A little bit of white pepper there on the retro hail. So a retro hail, if anyone playing at home and 40 minutes in, who's ever watching 40 minutes in, probably Roger, but so a retro hail is where, obviously with cigars you don't hail, but it's where you then blow it through your nose like a dragon. Yeah, I wish I'd have done a bit more retro hailing at the start of the video, because that sort of white pepper note pairs well with the softness of the wine. Nearly. Might just speed it along. So why I got an uneven burn is when I was, obviously you do that initial light, and then you have the virgin, it's called virgin puff, where you get to taste the tobacco for the first time. Same thing as smoking pipe tobacco, where you do a false light, and then tobacco rises, you tamp it down, and then you smoke it again. Because I don't know where I was going with that story. ADHD. So when I put it to my mouth as a full cigar, I held it too close and I didn't rotate it around evenly, which is why I got a bit of a crooked burn. We're up to 43, so I think I'll make it a clean 45. So I'll stop it at 45. I'll try to do it exactly on the dot. If I was going to smoke it all the way down, two things I'd do. I've got a little pinprick thing, and then I'd hold it by that, and then that way I'm not burning my fingers. Or what I've been doing lately with my cigars So when I get to about this point, I'll put it in one of my pipes, and then I can smoke it all the way down to the cap of the cigar. So thank you for watching. And now that I've got a bit more free time in my hands after my business, shutting down my business, I'll be doing more reviews, whether that be products, food, beers, cigars, wines, whiskies, scotch, ports, you name it. Anyway, guys, love you and leave you.